So good evening and welcome everybody. This is Council of African Professionals and we are having the International Women's Day event week-long series. The theme is Unshakeable, Women, Worth and Wellbeing in a Pressured World. And we started yesterday with Miss Valerie Nelson, a retired principal. And today we have beautiful and elegant, intelligent Miss Bayode Simpson, who will be speaking to us about various questions today. But before we go in, we're going to start with the Canadian anthem. Now, if you are comfortable standing or sitting, that is okay. But please, let's start with that. Technical, please do that. Thank you so much, Orefoluwa. Now we will go into the land acknowledgement, and I will call Orefoluwa Dimeji again to read the land acknowledgement in English. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. The Council of African Professionals, CAP, acknowledges that our office in Burlington is situated upon the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississauga, the Credit, the Anishinaabe, Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. We recognize that Burlington is covered by the Treaty 14, also known as the head of the Lake Bridges. As an organization dedicated to excellence and advancement of African diaspora, we recognize the deep parallels between the displacement of indigenous peoples and the forced migration and systemic exclusion faced by Black communities. We honor the enduring presence of all First Nation, Métis, and Inuit peoples, and we value their spiritual and cultural connections to this land. We also celebrate the long-standing history of Black Canadians whose presence in Ontario dates back centuries. From the early settlers and the freedom seekers who found refuge in this country to the modern professionals of African diaspora, Black Canadians have been integral to the economic and social fabric of Burlington and beyond. CAP commits to the ongoing work of reconciliation, equity. We strive to build a professional future that honors the land that we occupy and supports the prosperity of both Indigenous and Black communities through solidarity, justice, and mutual respect. Thank you.
Thank you. And so I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to be your host. My name is Adejisola Atiba. I'm the president of Council of African Professionals. I'm a retired banker with over 32 years of experience. Right now, what I do is support board, governance, strategic planning. I'm a coach, author, and the whole 9 yards. As many women, we wear many hats. So I wear many hats. Technical, please. I see somebody trying to join. Thank you so much. So welcome again to Council of African Professionals. Today, we're still celebrating International Women's Day. Actually, every day should be International Women's Day. And our agenda, we started with the anthem, we've done the land acknowledgement, and I will just do a quick introduction of CAP. We'll talk about upcoming events, we'll introduce our speaker, and we'll go into the fireside chat. And if you have any questions, any comments, we will open the floor for that. So we've done the acknowledgement. Now about CAP. So CAP started as CMP, which is Council of Nigerian Professionals, in 2018. And the whole idea started because of lived experiences of some people in our community. One of the things I say so often is, who is rising because of you? A lot of people need guidance. A lot of people need mentoring. A lot of people need support. And, if we come together, we'll be able to do a lot more as opposed to doing it individually. So the idea is to support professionals and of course, business owners, our youths, and of course the seniors. So basically the holistic family, because if a professional is thriving and every other part of that professional is not, we really won't be able to get any good thing out of that. So we have a series of events that we do: mentoring, language schools, coding classes, and we co-create based on the needs of the community. I will leave it at that. To get to know us more, you can visit our website. It's capngo.ca. Technically, if you don't mind putting our website and email in the chat, I would really appreciate that. So this is why we're here. But like I said, before we go into why we're here, I want to talk about the amazing women that we're going to be hearing from this week. So yesterday we started, because yesterday was the International Women's Day. We had Ms. Valerie Nelson, who was with us for like almost 2 hours. And today we're going to have Ms. Bayode Simpson. I'm going to read her bio when we get there, but she's ready to, share our knowledge with us. And tomorrow we're going to have Dr. Paige Afanu. And the next day after that, we'll have Ms. Abi Adekito. You can see that we have a really great lineup of powerful women who are impacting our lives day by day. And then we'll have Ms. Christine Aruku on Thursday. On Friday, we'll have Ms. Oluwabumi Bosede. And finally, on Saturday, we'll have Ms. Odosa Adams Idode on Saturday. And on Sunday, we're not done. We'll be talking about taxes. For every Canadian, we know that we need to file a tax. For personal, taxes need to be filed by end of April at the latest. And for businesses, June, or depending on when their tax year ends. What are the other programs that we have? By this month end, we're going to be starting a language school, March 28th. We have the French classes, we have Yoruba classes, we have Igbo class, and we also have Mandarin. If you know anybody that can teach our community a local class, a local language, please let us know, because the whole idea is to make sure that our culture does not disappear, especially for us living in diaspora. Why do we teach French? Canada is a dual language, and it's good for our children to know, especially if they're into it. Mandarin, why do we teach Mandarin? A lot of business owners, they do business with China. So if you understand a little bit about them, why not, right? And on June 20, we have, actually this one is for St. John, New Brunswick. We have the Black History event, essay writing competition. If you know anyone in St. John, in Fredericton, Halifax, invite them to write this essay. We have 3 categories. Additional details in the on our website. We have 3 categories: 15 to 18, 19 to 24, 25 to 30. And they will go home with cash money and, of course, recognition by a political figure. It could be the mayor or members of parliament or members of provincial parliament. That is for New Brunswick. And of course, we have it in Milton on June 20th. It's showing, this needs to be updated. It is June 20th in Milton. And same categories, And I'm happy to say that our keynote speaker, who has been confirmed, is Ms. Nosa Ero Brown. She's the Deputy Minister of Culture and Immigration. You know, you need to get out of your comfort zone to meet people. People are not going to come to your house. So that's one of the things we do in CAP. We always create opportunities to network, because we've heard the the popular saying, your network is your net worth, right? So Mr. Brown is going to be our keynote speaker on that day. And of course, we have a young gentleman who is an author and a founder of nonprofit, Olalekan Oluwayomi. He is going to be our guest speaker on that day. And of course, we have mentoring. This is coming on very soon. We're still working on it. If you desire to be mentored, please reach out to us. Send an email to us, capprofessionals.org@gmail.com. You know, our light cannot stay on without the support of small businesses. Nonprofits, we are truly nonprofit. We don't make money. So small businesses support us. And so we need to do a little bit shout out before we go in. And we do shout out to them in all our virtual events. And of course, they have the opportunity to present themselves during our in-person events. If you want to learn more about how to support us, please reach out. Again, our email is the best way to reach out to us. SDA Business Solutions, if you've not done your taxes, this is an organization you can reach out to. They are into preparing personal taxes, business taxes. They can help you register your business, business consulting, incorporation, bookkeeping, HR, anything financial. They're there to support you. We have Pixel. Are you looking for really, really beautiful portraits, whether it's personal or commercial, weddings, all those milestones? Reach out to Pixel. Insurance is a huge deal. If you do not have insurance, please reach out to Tomilola Ogundipe. She will be able to talk to you about various types of insurance, life, critical illness, disability, and all the rest. They're all very important. I call it transferring your risk, because life itself is a risk. Unique designs, they're into bed towels, bed sheets, lingeries, nightwears, and more. Visit them on their website, uniquedesigns.ca. The design is DZYNZ. They sell premium products. This is a book I wrote, Authenticity, How My Winding Moments Shaped My Life. If you want a jolt to realize that God has been good to you, read my book. Amazing Minds creates websites. Websites that is not too fancy, that is not going to make you break the bank. They will create it for you so that you can showcase your business to a wider audience. Without the power of prayer, where can we really all be? The Halicon Days International, we thank you, Archbishop Prof. Zaza Williams, for your support and for praying for us. And this store, again, is for me. It's Abba Digital Studio Store. It supports women, youths, and newcomers. Then I'm going to go on to our supporters. These people have supported us in the past, and we continue to recognize them, because really without their support, there's so many things we couldn't have done. BPTN, RBC Royal Bank, and Indian Race Relations Foundations. There's so many nonprofits doing what we do. And so we want to do a shout out to them, and they've supported in many ways. It could be, supporting us with volunteers, or even showing up, buying tables, just to make sure that they're there to support our event. Alliance Creative Community, my sincere regards to His Royal Highness King Nanayo Osamwan, the African Caribbean Council of Alton, Grandmother's Voices, Seas Center. Grandmother's Voices is actually an indigenous organization. Seas Center, that is a Chinese organization. The Care Foundation, they support caregivers. Black Business Edmonton, United Colors of Fashion, they are also into fashionable wears. Akao, Ottawa, Nairobi, and many, many more. Now, we have two flagship events, the essay writing and the Platform Canada. This is happening in December. Are you a speaker? Do you have a message, to deliver? The Platform Canada, it's all about voices that shape change. So we're going to be talking for a whole day. It's a 2-day event, December 11th and 12th. December 11th is all virtual. So if you have a message, we will, of course, provide a theme for the event. Reach out to us again. It is through email, capprofessionals.org@gmail.com. And, a lot of people are doing fantastic things in the community, carrying people along. As they're rising, they're holding on to somebody, mentoring somebody, sponsoring somebody, recommending somebody. So we want to recognize them because most of the time the job they do is thankless, and there's so many people working in nonprofits, volunteering their time. We want to recognize them, and so if you know anyone, again, reach out to us by email so that we can recognize them during our gala. And our gala is truly a place to be. I can tell you that for sure. And so our details again, technical, please put our details on the charts. Our website, www.capngo.ca. Our email, capprofessionals.org@gmail.com. Join our newsletter so that you will know what is happening when it is happening. Now I am going to stop sharing. And we're now back to why we're here. Is there a reason why I'm seeing your first tile where I'm not seeing your tile? Okay, maybe when you start speaking, maybe I'll see you. Can you say something, Ms. Bayode Simpson?
Yes, hi, I'm here.
Fantastic. Now I see you. Now I see you. Good. So now to why we're here. We're here again to talk about International Women's Day. Yes, the day that the world recognized is March the 8th. But as women, we can draw the line. We can do whatever we want. We can color out of the line, right? And so we are celebrating ourselves week long. And today we have Ms. Bayode Simpson. And I will take time to read our bio because when you've done this much, people deserve to know. And so who is Bayode Simpson? She's a data governance specialist at one of Canada's top 5 banks with over 12 years of experience driving impactful solutions across banking, technology, insurance, consulting, and nonprofit industries. Known for her strategic thinking, adaptability, and result-driven approach, she has led projects ranging from small-scale initiatives to large, complex implementations, bringing both technical rigor and human-centered leadership to everything she does. She also serves in a leadership capacity with Women in Business Analysis, where she has mentored and empowered women to build thriving careers in the field. Beyond her professional career, Bayode is a woman whose greatest leadership has been forged in her most personal seasons. She's the founder of Wings of Strength Foundation, built on the mission of restoring hope, dignity, and resilience to women and families. The foundation provides practical support, skills training, and faith-based encouragement to women rebuilding their lives. She's also the host of Don't Settle, Redefining Life Standards, a podcast that challenges listeners to stop tolerating just enough and step into what they truly deserve. And she's the author of Live It Up, 40 life lessons on mindset, money, momentum, marriage, and motherhood for women who want to win in life. As a career coach, mentor, and women's advocate, Bayode has spent over a decade helping women show up powerfully in their careers, in their lives, and in their own skin. Bayode Simpson is living proof that you can lose a chapter without losing yourself. And the audacity to bloom is available to every woman willing to claim it. She's a proud mom to Sassy, 6-year-old, who is watching her mother model exactly what it means to rise. So on that note, I really would want us to give a warm virtual welcome to Ms. Bayode Simpson. We do have emojis. Please, let's use it. Let's welcome her. Let's show her some love. Thank you so much, Ms. Simpson. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic. So, is there anything else you want the viewers to know?
I think you did more than justice to introducing me. So that's what I want them to know for now. And maybe as we speak, they will discover one or two other things about me.
Fantastic. So the topic, Unshakeable, and all this, what do you think? What's your thoughts around the topic?
Oh, I think it's a very necessary topic that we need to dissect and unpack, especially in this day and age that we find ourselves. As women, there's so much that we have on our shoulders. There's so much that we are carrying. There's so much that, there, and a lot of them are expectations of us, not only external expectations, but expectations that we put upon ourselves. So being unshakable in the face of different things that come our way, I think it's very important for us to know how to be unshakable and how to navigate, those different areas of our lives, different areas of our lives, regardless of, what we have going on around us and, what's, what we have going on around us. I'll stop there for now. So I think that this discussion around wellness and our worth and well-being I think it encompasses all it means to be unshakable. So very, very, very necessary and relevant topic for today.
Thank you so much. As you're aware, the global theme for International Women's Day is give to gain, I think. Give to gain. What do you think about that?
I think that there are two ways to look at it. Yes, giving is always, even the Bible talks about, it's better to give than to receive. So I hear that on one hand, but on the other hand, I think that we also have to be cautious around, giving more than we can actually give. As I know there's some gentlemen allies here, but speaking specifically to women, yes, we give a whole lot. Women naturally, we are nurturers, so we give, and so I think part of what I'm taking from this is not only giving externally, but also giving to ourselves, because that's one area that we put in the back burner. It's easier for us to give to other people than we really give to ourselves, whether it's rest, whether it's, education, whether it's opportunities to even grow and thrive in our careers. I think that, so when I say there are two ways to look at it, not just giving other people, but also really like taking a look inwardly and giving to ourselves as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes, most of the time we tend to overcommit, right? And we burn out. So thank you for sharing your thoughts around that. So let's talk about self-leadership in a pressured world. What are the early warning signs that your well-being is slipping before burnout hits?
Yeah, somebody who's experienced burnout, the first thing I would say when you're experiencing burnout is just fogginess, just brain fog. You're not able to focus on one thing. We say multitasking is a skill, so you're trying to multitask, trying to do a whole bunch of things, but you realize that nothing is moving forward. And those are the signs of burnout. Of course, other things are fatigue, exhaustion, lack of sleep. Even when you put your head down to sleep, your mind is racing and thinking about 1,000,001 things that you have to do. So burnout comes gradually, but when it hits, it hits fully and it disrupts your life. In my experience, just burnouts, of course, it stems from us, like you mentioned, overcommitting to things, overextending ourselves and not giving ourselves the opportunity as women to just rest, to just relax and not have to perform, not have to show up, not have to do, not have to always be in motion, on the go, just to show that, we're relevant or we're doing something, or, that we're playing our parts. So I think that burnout comes in various waves, but one thing that we need to recognize about burnout so that we can stay ahead of it is when you find yourself just moving from pillar to post without making any progress and just being totally exhausted. And another way you might notice burnout is just being easily irritable and resentful. You've overcommitted to things, you've overcommitted yourself, and you said yes to something that you really wanted to say no to, and then you find yourself being resentful about it and, not showing up fully because you are resentful to that thing that you've committed yourself to, that you really weren't and shouldn't have committed yourself to.
Learning to say no.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yesterday, a speaker talked about the fact that most women wear masks.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We wear masks. We wear many hats, and then we wear masks. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. And that's that performance that we do, just being performative in what we're doing. Those are the different masks that we wear, and just to show up based on expectations of others.
I'm digressing a little bit. There seems to be codes written for each gender.
Yes.
Men feel they're so stressed with so many unwritten codes. And for us women, I was actually listening to one comedian that said, who said you must finish high school, go to university, get married, have kids? Where did all that come from?
Exactly.
Who put your schedule in place? There's a lot of pressure.
Societal pressure.
Right?
Yes.
So, I mean, what do you think about all these unwritten codes, all these unwritten manners? How do you think we should handle them? And who really should be supporting us in this journey?
Yes. So first of all, I'll answer, where did all this come from? I think that a lot of it comes from culture. Just regardless of, your cultural backgrounds, culture plays a big role in how we live day to day, and societal norms around, like gender roles. So, a woman should do this, a woman should get married, she'll be a great cook, she'll be able to take care of her family, she'll do all those things. So culture plays a big role in dictating and deciding how we show up. But to answer your question on how we can separate ourselves, or how we can lay down those the societal pressure that it comes, I think the first thing is setting boundaries, especially around expectations of others. Oh, why haven't you had a child? Why aren't you married? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? I think setting boundaries and being comfortable enough to stand up for what you really feel and what you truly want for yourself. It's not always easy, especially I'll give an example of myself, someone who is of African background. We have our aunties that, have no filters when they speak to us. And, for example, oh, why do you just have one child? Why don't you have a second one? In the past, as an adult, I will just smile, uncomfortably, just because I don't want to, have to respond to them, or have to argue with them, or have to explain myself to them as to this is why I'm in this position. So, now I've learned that, yes, I respect their opinions, and their opinions are formed by their own culture, their own upbringing, and what they learned growing up. And of course, can I still call myself a millennial?
You can call yourself whatever you want.
Or I don't know what generation I fall into, as a kid, as a woman, as someone who was raised in the 80s and is now living in 2026. We found the language to name how we feel and how to navigate those aunties and still be respectful, because our culture calls for being respectful, but also still stand our ground as to why we've made the decisions that we've made, which might not not go there, which might not necessarily mesh with what their expectations and what they want of us, but just be able to be the adults that we are, and say, okay, here's why, and here are my boundaries. And again, you don't have to explain yourself, because you state where you are, your position, and then keep it moving. So I feel like a lot of it is setting boundaries, because people feel like they have access to you, and so they can say things, or give their opinions, but it's not always that. It's mutual respect. So I feel that part of that pressure is really just safeguarding your peace, safeguarding your own beliefs, and just making sure that you set the proper boundaries. Like, again, like I said, it doesn't have to be combative. It doesn't have to be an argument, or whole dissertation as to why you are you're sticking to the position that you have. But I think that more dialogue around that in a way that is respectful is really needed now to take the pressure off.
Thank you so much. More dialogue, communication, breaks a lot of ground.
Yes.
We need to talk more. There's certain things we don't talk about, especially in our own community. Talking, and that was why I asked, who do you think should be guiding us? Yeah.
Yes. Who should be guiding us? I think that, first of all, as women, we need to support ourselves first. Support ourselves, empower each other. But also, like in different communities, we need our allies as well. We need our men to support us as well, and really stand for and respect the decisions that we've made for ourselves as well. So I think that it's, first of all, starts with us supporting each other, but also having those allies who are supporting us and speaking up for us as well, and not joining the discourse about women should do this or that, and add to the noise.
What about women that are kind of laid back? Women that can't, not that they can't speak, but they don't speak maybe like you and I. What advice do you have for them?
I would advise them to use their voices. They might not speak often, but when they speak, really communicate and convey what they need to convey. Yes, and I'm not a big speaker as well. I think I've learned over the years to speak more, because I'm generally a very shy and reserved person, but realizing that my voice is important, it needs to be heard, and just knowing how to just speak up. Don't have to speak all the time, but when you speak, just make sure that it's powerful and impactful.
Absolutely. And I love what you said about the need to be heard. If we don't speak, they can't know what's going on in our mind, right? They can't read our minds.
Exactly.
So, and another thing I will add to that would be, get a mentor. Maybe you just need to learn how to speak, in difficult situations, because there will be difficult situations. And we're talking about our culture, but then when we talk about work, it's a different ball game, right? So we tend to walk into halls that were not meant for us, and we'll be shy. Our voice will be shaking, but we've got to walk that walk, and we got to talk that talk when it's time to talk, because we live in a country where articulating who you are, what you know, what you do, and all the words, it's super, super important, right?
Absolutely. So bringing it down to like our careers, as someone who's who coaches business analysts, just having that voice to even negotiate, your job terms, your offer is really important. Like you said, if we don't speak up, we will get the short end of the stick. So speaking up, using your voice, and advocating for yourself first, especially when it comes to the workplace, in life in general, but we're talking about our careers here, advocating for yourself. And I tell people that, you're during a job interview or your resume, that is not where you want to be humble. You want to, speak of your work, because nobody else will speak for you, and your worth, that you're bringing in. So, yes, definitely that the power of your voice, the art of negotiation is really important, especially when it comes to navigating the job market or your career path, especially as a woman.
Thank you so much. I had one of my leaders while I was in the bank talk about carrying an invincible backpack. Yeah, when Ms. Valerie talked about wearing mask at work, we wear masks in everything. We go out, we wear masks. People see different versions of us.
Yes.
And that's because we have so many things that we're carrying, whether it's on our head or on our neck or on our back, that dictates who we are at every point in time.
Yes.
And I know that our job is a huge cause of burnout. But apart from, I want to leave the career on the side. Apart from career, what else do you think, causes burnout for women? And how should we guide around? I know you've talked about it, but I just have that question and I want to ask it. How should we guide around it? How can we reduce burnout?
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, once you start to notice burnout, that you're getting exhausted, you're easily triggered, you're irritable, you're resentful, I think that's when you need to come into yourself. There's something that I do often, which is my check-ins. It's a practice that I learned from a lady who was my coach. Unfortunately, she passed away a couple of years ago. But checking in with yourself, just even if it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, checking in, whether it's a mental check-in or journaling. I journal a lot. I absolutely love journaling. So, just checking in with yourself. And sometimes we're feeling certain things, but we don't know how to express them and how to name how we're feeling. It might, that your body doesn't feel right. There's something going on. And it's you can't explain it. That is when you need to sit down, grab a journal, take some time to yourself. If you have a trusted friend or someone you can speak to, it's also good to be able to speak and share how you're feeling, share what is going on with you, so that you get the support you need. A lot of us, we tend to not like to share, especially when we're in tough seasons, because one, there's trust that we are dealing with. The other is shame. How am I going to be perceived if I share that I'm feeling this way? Or how are they going to receive what I'm saying? And sometimes it's all that pressure, and trying to be everything to yourself, trying to do everything, that causes that burnout. Not only the emotional side of it, and a lot of it comes from our emotions, but also physically, not getting enough rest, not checking in with yourself, not taking time to just relax and do things for yourself, will cause burnout. So for me, it's checking with yourself, building time for yourself, whether it's you're taking a few minutes to half a day to a full day to just be off the grid, just to re-energize, just to recharge your batteries, because it's very important to take care of yourself. Well-being, like I think that we talked about, your worth and your well-being. I think your well-being comes first. Your well-being, as one of my doctors explained to me, is just not, physically, but it's also mentally as well. Like your well-being encompasses how you're doing mentally. So again, feel free to get support, professional support. I know some people have thoughts around speaking to a therapist or seeking professional help, but as someone who's received such support, I find that if you don't have a trusted person or someone that you feel like you don't want to be judged or you don't want them to know what's going on, then, seeking professional help is another route. And again, there are other things that you can learn. There's breath work, tapping. Like the other day, a friend of mine was telling me that she needed a hug. And I didn't want to say hug yourself, because I needed to give her context as to ways that she could self-soothe during that time that she was feeling like she wanted a hug. There was nobody to give her a hug. But there are techniques where you can, even whether it's like just rubbing your arm gently, like to soothe yourself. So like just being open to learning techniques that would help you bring you down from how you're feeling, whether it's being stressed, just learning different techniques. There's another one. I know I'm not speaking as a mental health professional, but someone who's received that. Another one, in addition to breath work, is EDMR therapy. I find that, for people who don't like to speak a lot, that is another type of therapy that you can look into to support you as you're going through burnout.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So what I'm hearing is, if you have a trusted friend, share your worries.
Yeah.
The problem shared, I mean, at least 50% of it is
absolutely
solved, right? And
Yes.
if you don't have anybody to share with, there's nothing wrong in talking to a professional.
Yep.
I mean, I know that, some people don't necessarily like, talking to doctors, therapists, and things like that, but God gave them that skill for a reason. So we need to leverage it as much as possible, because we carry so much on our shoulders, on our head, on our back. And it's important to let go at times, be vulnerable at times. And you talked about, journaling. Yesterday, it will surprise you that Ms. Valerie actually said, when you experience burnout, learn how to come back to yourself.
Mhm.
And I feel it's so important. That's exactly what I'm hearing you say too. Learn how to come back, whether it's through journaling. One of the things I do is soliloquy. I talk to myself.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
At times I want to do something and I'll say, I just allow you for real. And I'm able to reason things out. So there's so many techniques. I mean, I love the fact that you can rub yourself and just feel. And of course, when you now see Bayode, you just hug her. Because at times, believe you me, that hug goes a long way.
It goes a long way. And sorry, I was just going to add another thing, the power of community as well. I don't want to overlook that, especially when it comes to support as well. For those who, go to church or are affiliated with other types of religions, just, being part of a community, whether it's faith-based community or community based on, other types of affiliations or affinities that you have, is also important. We learn a lot from community, plugging into communities and just learning and being able to lean on one another too is important to support with burnout.
I love the word lean. Lean on me.
Exactly. Right? Exactly.
We shouldn't continue to be that superwoman, right?
No.
We don't have to act. We don't have to be all strong for everybody else when we're actually breaking inside.
Absolutely. Take off the cape, that invisible cape. We talked about backpacks at work. We wear, we want to be superwoman. And like somebody said, there's zero award for that. Like you said, it's a thankless job. So yes.
Okay, so we all know that women, we go through many uncertain times.
Yes.
And at times we can't even, you did allude to some of it by saying we can't even put words to it. How do we as women navigate what are practical ways to reduce anxiety and emotional overload during uncertain times?
I think again, it starts with you giving yourself that space and the time. Emotional overload, emotional labor, you know, again, as women, we're doing so many things at the same time. So giving yourself that space and pressure off, taking the pressure off. So practical ways, that you've heard that no is a complete sentence. Not over committing to things. That's the first thing I'll say, is being okay with not having like a full calendar, a full itinerary of things that you have to do, or you have to do, or needs to be done. It's okay for you to walk away from dishes for some time and just go listen to some music, or even if it's dancing, just moving your body in different ways, just to release the pressure, release the stress. I tell you, I'm not a fantastic dancer, I'm not the best dancer, but I will dance to make myself feel better. Listen to music, listen to teachings. I love listening to podcasts, different areas, different areas of my life. So like for me, it's just like being able to just zone out and just listen to other people speak, listen to other people impart things, knowledge, wisdom into me. So I would say that, first of all, is really just, giving yourself that space, giving yourself that opportunity to just check out of what you have going on. Give yourself space to check out, like leave things alone. I know even as a mom, sometimes you feel like, oh, you have to be there for your children, you have to be there for this person, you have to be there. No, they'll be fine. Because if you're not okay, like we hear on the plane, oh, put your oxygen mask first before you help other people. You absolutely need to do that. You absolutely need to give yourself that space. So whether it's taking time for yourself, whether it's taking a nice bath. Sometimes I call my baths luxurious baths, and that's because I'm using maybe different types of body scrubs and body things. But just really finding what it is that helps to soothe you. Like I'll always come back to like soothing, like easing whatever pressure, whatever pain you're feeling. So whether it's listening to music, taking a luxurious bath, journaling again will be important, or even just just spending some quiet time alone. Another practical thing I do as a mom is that I build in going to Starbucks or a coffee shop from the grocery store. I don't come home. I wake up very early, do my groceries while the grocery store is empty. And then I go to a coffee shop, sit down there, even if it's for 30 minutes to an hour, just have that alone time for myself, whether I'm catching up on podcasts that I missed during the week, or whether it's even just like writing things, just finding time for myself. My birthday last month, I took time off. I did a solo retreat, took myself, checked into a hotel for 3 days, spent that time praying, journaling, crying, everything I wanted, eating, going off my strict diet, like just finding myself, discovering myself, and just being with myself. So those are like practical things that I can share in terms of taking that pressure off. And I'm going to keep talking again. And another thing I want to say is we also have to protect what is coming in, our eye gates, ear gates, mouth gate. Like protect what is coming in, what you're allowing to come into your space, because all that influences how you feel as well. So protect it. If it's if it's just closing some apps, not listening to certain things, not going on certain platforms, if you know that they cause you to feel a certain type of way, then protect yourself, protect your peace, and guard it jealously. Like just make sure that you're protecting what's coming, what you're feeding into yourself.
So very, you've talked about so many heavy things. I'm gonna just lighten it up a little. Miley Cyrus, I could buy myself flowers. Flowers. No,
Yes,
that's
yes,
no,
yes.
that's
I can buy myself a flower.
there you go. There you go. Absolutely. People don't need to do it for you. You can do it for yourself,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And also, what do you think about asking for help?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think not asking for help comes from a place of being strong and being seen as a strong person, and I'll say a little bit of ego as well, a little
Yeah,
bit,
love big.
or maybe a lot, of ego. But I think that being able to ask for help is very, very important. It feels like you're going to someone and you're putting your burden on them, but that's not the case. That's not the case. And of course, with discernment and wisdom as to who to go to for help, that is also important. But people are willing to help. Us as human beings, not, we're not all closed off and don't want to help. Yes, there might be a general perception, but I still believe, like, in the kindness of humanity, that there are people out there who are looking out for other people and who will be there to support you. So ask for help when you need help. Like you said, a problem shared is a problem half solved. And you'll be surprised at resources people have. A problem that you think is so huge, you share it with somebody and they're able to, like, just break it down for you, point you in the right direction, tell you a small tip that could help you. And, like you were talking about taxes, the session with taxes. I mean, people will show up there with burdens and they feel like, oh, they're in trouble. But, they hear somebody speak and their problems are solved just like that. So being able to and being receptive to help, but I think help, that's being able to, like, ask for help, seek help, and receive it as well. Receive it. Be able to receive the help that people offer.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I'm so excited that this is recorded because there's so many important things that you shared that I personally will go back and review. We learn every day. And I always tell people, the only time you stop learning is when you're 6 feet down. Oh,
Yes.
you know what? Talking about 6 feet down, it's your mom's anniversary, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it is. It is. It is. It is.
Feel free. You can say whatever you want to say before we go to the next question.
Oh, so I mentioned that on my podcast. I release my podcast every Monday. So I mentioned that on my podcast that, part of the woman I am, or a lot of the woman I am, is the legacy I received from my mom and who she was. She was a quiet warrior. So she was very quiet, very kind, very peaceful, but very strong as well. Very strong in her values, very strong in supporting people. Just very strong in character as well. She would always say, "Honesty is the best policy. Honesty is the best policy." And so I just honor my mom today. It's been 14 years since she left this world, and I am so. I wish my goal is to make her proud, because as I was saying my goodbyes to her, I said, I really want to make you proud. And there's some moments that I've had, I felt, she wouldn't be happy with me right now. But today, as I stand here, I think that there's so many things that she would be proud of. So I just honor her. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. And part of, being a woman, we don't talk about our emotions,
Yes.
right? And I really appreciate that you were able to share. Not that it wasn't, necessary, but you shared all the same. Thank you. And I pray, I'm sure we all pray, that our soul continue to rest in peace, and that you continue to make her proud,
Thank
even
you.
beyond where you are today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So to the next question, let's talk about digital pressure.
Yes.
Social
Yes.
media.
Yes. Social media. For me, I actually love social media. I've been hanging out on social media for years and years, whether it's promoting my business, or just, just learning from other people. I absolutely love social media, but at the same time, there restrictions I place on myself when it comes to social media. Um, for example, if I know that I have some important things coming up and I don't want noise, I quietly deactivate my account. Or if there are certain people that trigger certain feelings in me, I quietly unfollow. I don't have to announce. I quietly block. I quietly mute, and I move on. I think that social media has its, advantages in terms of, you're able to show up. It provides you a platform, and unpaid most of the time platform for you to show up and share with people. It provides visibility that we probably won't have had in many years ago, in terms of, people being able to just, come up, share your thoughts, be a thought leader on social media, promote yourself, learn from other people, have other people know you. So there are a lot of advantages to social media. I absolutely love social media, but like I said, there, of course, boundaries around social media, what you share, how you share them, keeping yourself safe. For those of us that like to do selfies when we go to Instagrammable restaurants, don't tag while you're out there, don't, you know, be posting while you're still in the place. So there are, different things that we need to be aware of with social media. Safety definitely is very important. Also, when you're sharing your thoughts, whether it's your personal thoughts, remember, that if you're still working for an organization, even though your thoughts might not necessarily align with, the organization, but because you work for them, so you have to be careful how what you're putting out there. You don't know, tomorrow you might run for a political office, so you want to be very careful as well. Use it responsibly is what I will say. But I absolutely think that social media has helped in a lot of ways, but of course, it's made us a little antisocial. You're with your friends at a restaurant, and there's something we used to do at work, when me and my colleagues will go out to have lunch, and we'll all put our phones down, and the person that picks up their phone to look at their phone is going to pay the bill, going to pay everybody's lunch. It was just a way for us to just be present with each other, and not feel the need to be always connected, always, what's the latest news, what's going on, so I think that, it has its pros and its cons, but definitely I embrace social media. I love social media, but of course with a lot of boundaries and restraints.
Thank you so much. There's certain things that you mentioned that was actually mentioned yesterday. So this one was about family dinner.
Yes.
When they're having family dinner, they put their phones down, and so that they can connect on a human basis. And you talked about, I think you alluded to the social media presence. There was a story yesterday around somebody that had a lot of followers on social media, and maybe runs into a million or something, young girl, and she decided, what, I want to give to myself. I want to give my followers the opportunity to meet me. And so she announced that she was going to be at a place for them to come and meet her. I mean, people that were around that place, and it will shock you that nobody showed up. Not even one person.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, okay, that was what happened. Because at times, social media connections, it's not really real connections.
Yes.
Most of the time, because I mean, what does it really take to like?
Yes.
It's like a fraction of a second, and you're gone, right? So taking that as being real, social media is different from real. So as much as there's good social media, like
Yes.
you're using it to, you know, publicize what you do, who you are, and things like that. But just staying on it and reading, whatever, even when we have so much to do, may not necessarily be the way to go. And another thing that was mentioned yesterday was the fact that social media, without social media, most of us would not have been seen.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So it gives us opportunity. But being seen, that is where comparison now comes into play.
Exactly.
Sure that we're not taking the bad with the good. It's just like COVID coming, you know, doing all sort of negativity. But then it brought this. It brought us being able to meet in a
Yes.
digital space, and people can join from all over. So I
Yes.
don't know if you want to add anything before I go to the next question.
Yeah, no, just to what you said about, because I was like, when you talked about the lady, I thought you were going to say that so many people showed up that it was, you know, I was expecting the opposite. But yes, you're right. You know, again, you know, it's not always real. People are showing you highlights of their lives. They're showing you the most of the time the fancy, the good parts. They're not showing you the struggle. So again, you know, when you go on social media and you're feeling bad about your life, your circumstances, because you see somebody with a picture perfect, you know, whether it's, you know, house or whatever, just know that it's not always real. So, you know, I feel like, I believe that, you know, we need to use social media responsibly. And if it's triggering you, please don't feel like you have to be on. You can take some time off from social media.
Yeah, some time off from social media, some time off, you know, even from meeting people, you know, some time off for yourself. Just
Yes.
take care of you, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing. Um, hey, hi.
Yes.
So, what skills should women prioritize now to remain relevant when it comes to this AI era?
Oh yeah, I don't think that we can avoid or ignore AI. Definitely upskilling. How can you use AI to be more efficient in what you do? Being open to the different ways that your role can change because of AI, but also understanding that AI does a lot of things for you, but it doesn't replace the humanness, the human context that you bring in as well. So that's that you still have that value, that's worth. And so AI is your co-pilot or your assistant. So don't delegate your decision making, your thoughts, your brain to AI, but be able to understand that AI is here and it might change the way you do things at work. Even I know people who are planning vacations on using AI. Tell me how to, you know, I'm going away for 8 days. I have X budget. Here's what I'm going to need you to do for me. So there, you know, there are benefits definitely to AI, but you definitely don't want to ignore AI and say, oh, no, I'm not interested. Some people are afraid of AI, that it's going to take their jobs. But okay, AI is here. So how can you work with it? Just like, you know, we started working remotely from home. How are you able to work efficiently from home? So you just have to embrace it and, you know, learn new skills, especially for people of a certain age, you know, where we're not so receptive to change, or we feel like, oh, it's too late for me to learn all this. Take it in small steps, you know, but definitely be open, and you definitely want to upskill now, as opposed to waiting later. We're hearing that, oh, AI is taking jobs, is doing this, is doing that. But one thing a lot of people are saying, I hang out a lot on LinkedIn, is that the person who knows how to use AI will take your job, not AI specifically, but the person who knows how to work in conjunction with AI. So you can't ignore AI. It's here, and I think that there are a lot of benefits. I have a friend who works in IT, who works with a lot of code, and was telling me that, you know, task that used to take him, 30 minutes, that AI will do it, like the code and everything, in a matter of minutes. So, he's being more efficient in his work. But again, like I said, you can't delegate your brain to AI. You have the context, you understand certain things, you are the human being behind AI. So make sure that you still maintain your autonomy in that way, but use AI definitely efficiently and again, responsibly.
Thank you very much. So absolutely use AI. I want to give maybe 2 tips around AI. The first, the most important thing is use AI. See,
Yes.
you can't break it, period. Use it.
Yes.
Use it doesn't, and you can ask silly questions, doesn't matter. But the better the question is, the better the prompt is, the better for you. So 2 things I want to add is, 1, your first answer is not necessarily the best answer.
Oh yeah.
So it's the same AI that will say, oh, if you want a more, better response, let it create it for you.
Yes.
And then what I've realized with AI is that if you really want AI to work really well for you, because I use AI a lot, just so you know, I use the social media, I do everything, but there's always a balance. Again, it's all about enhancing, adding value to yourself, not necessarily saying. So the other thing I would say is, maybe you've created a document. A very good way to use AI is to tell AI to actually critique it for you.
Yes.
Right? So, a lot of people always say, oh, seniors, because now I realize I'm actually a senior. Always say, seniors don't use technology. Yes, seniors do. I do. And I love it. And I'm loving it.
Yes.
So let's use it. And if you need to learn, reach out. Maybe we can co-create something where we learn together, as women, or to learn how to better leverage these things to add value to us. And when we know it, guess what? We'll be able to help our children or our grandchildren, as the case may be. So thank you so very much. Using AI is a no-brainer.
And it's and like you said, the prompts, your prompts have to be, you refine them over and over again. And also, just to, I was on a coaching call with a client on Saturday, and like what you were saying, I said, don't take what AI, the first response, as the gospel. Keep on prompting and refining it until you are satisfied with the results that you have. And a quick story. And when I started using AI with my accountability partner a couple of years ago, I used to get frustrated. I'll say, it doesn't sound like me. This is not how I talk. This is not me. And she'll tell me, yes, but then keep using it so that it gets to know you, and then it begins to sound like you. And, because sometimes, that was a couple of years ago, like, no, this is not me. I don't say this. These are not my words. So you have to get comfortable with it and use it to, really get the full benefits of it.
And I'll add one more thing, because I know my nephew is online. Another thing he told me is that you need to praise AI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the more respectful you are, the better the response you actually get. Apparently, they're emotional, and that is just not good for me. It would be nice for them not to be emotional. I mean, I have too much emotion going on, right? But I did. Dr. Banjo is agreeing. Yeah, so I've learned to kind of massage I don't know whether it's a his or she is ego when I'm also putting those prompts in.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I say thank you sometimes.
So it gives you the thumb up, the thumb down, whatever. I do the thumb up most of the time. And it's why. And I'll say, very interesting, factually correct, this. You say, oh, thank you. And then when you actually say thank you, it comes up with like a page or 2 paragraphs, telling you that, oh, I'm so happy to be working with you, this, that. It just makes it so.
Have you used the voice? Have you used the have you used the voice when we chat?
I use the voice. I use the voice too.
A lady that speaks to me is so like, I feel like she's my friend. We're brainstorming together, and she's like, that's a fantastic idea. And it's just like back and forth and back and forth. So I definitely see, and I should thank her more. But yes, I definitely see why, why when you thank them that they're it will help to boost their productivity
The
or
morale.
Exactly. Yes.
Very interesting. Okay, so what is one thing you're carrying that you can lay down, that you can lay down this week? What kind of, how can you advise women about what they're carrying? At least one thing that they can lay down based on all the questions that we've answered today.
I think emotional labor, carrying not just our problems, but other people's problems as well. I think that's one thing we can lay down. With everything going on in the world, I know that sometimes, we're listening to the news and it affects us. So, just if you're going to listen to it, say a prayer and then move on, but don't take it. Don't carry the weight of the world. So definitely is that emotional labor that we place on ourselves to support others, or to pick up other people's problems. Yes, I know we talked about, sharing, but, if you're in a place where you're overly, burdened, it's okay to lay down other people's problems for a little bit and just focus on yourself.
So what I'm hearing is know your trigger. For me, I don't listen to news. I actually do not, because I know at times I'll be listening to news and I'll be crying, and I can't afford that.
Yes.
So my husband loves news, so I tell him, you listen enough for the both of us.
Yes.
Let me know if it's not important. Dr. Banjo says I don't either. So I try to manage my peace because it's all I got, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else before we go into Q&A? Is there anything else you'd like to add to all the things anything top of mind?
Yes. I don't think we've talked a lot about this we haven't really touched on it, and maybe another speaker will talk about it. But I just want to encourage us as women to, when we talk about autonomy, it's also financial freedom and financial literacy. Let us educate ourselves on, how to be responsible stewards of our finances. But in addition to that is also how to create income, how to create wealth, how to build, leave a legacy. I think that's that's one thing I learned from my mom, who had a will, who had everything in place, lost both parents. And I saw the difference between one parent having a will and having everything in place versus my dad, who was more carefree. So I want to encourage us as women, and also personal experiences I've had as well is, don't relegate your finances to any other person. Learn how to create, save, and make money. Learn how to manage your money as well. It will help you a lot. So I definitely would want to leave that as well with my sisters and women that are listening, is that financial freedom, financial knowledge, financial literacy is absolutely important.
And you cannot be more correct, my dear. I worked in the banking industry for 32 years, 19 with RBC. And I was at the time a financial planner. And believe you me, I see a lot of family. Maybe it's the husband that is, taking care of the finance, and the wife has no clue. Or is the wife taking care of the finance and the husband has no clue. And when one of them goes, and meet the Lord, the other person is super lost. And there's so many things. And I'm happy to tell you and everybody listening that Council of African Professionals actually does a lot of programs around financial planning. Financial literacy is you understanding how to manage money. Financial planning is how to be futuristic in everything that you do. There's so many segments around financial planning that people need to talk about. You talk about transferring risk, because insurance is all about transferring your risk.
Yes.
You know, I tell people that if you have family and you care about them, you must have insurance, period.
Yes.
Now,
Yes. Yes.
the type of insurance you need to have, there's so many. That's why you need to talk to an advisor.
Yes.
You have to have your will, you have to have your power of attorney, and all those things are things that we've talked about before. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see all sorts on it, but we're still going to do much more this year, because it's important, not just for women, for men, for youth, for everybody.
Yes.
It's very important. Thank you for talking to that. Because it wasn't actually part of the question. We kind of assume, but thank you for bringing it to the forefront.
Thank you.
So we're opening it up. Does anybody have any comments, questions? Please unmute, and if you feel like showing your video, that would be great. Otherwise, please go ahead and ask. I know that I've had
Hi.
Good evening. Yes, please go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, good evening.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I'm struggling with this thing. I wanted to show my camera, but it's not responding to me. But is it okay if I just speak without my camera?
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Though I joined the discussion much later, but I was really interested in the part about AI. And I heard Lady Abba talking about having like a platform where women come together and learn to use AI. And I really do think that we should explore that as soon as possible, because the truth is that you can't avoid AI. I come across some things like I did some interviewing some years back before GPT became a thing, and I had to manually transcribe 25 interviews. And it was months and months, and my back ached, my fingers ached. And I see some people now who are doing those things in a matter of weeks, and they're done. And I was like, goodness gracious me, where were you people when I was struggling, you know? So nobody can run away from AI. It's the reality that we have to face. But learning to use AI is going to be indispensable to everybody's work, whatever field you're in. I have this app on my phone. It's a motivational thing by Tony Robbins, and you can ask questions, and the thing answers you like as if it's Tony talking. And you know, when you guys were talking about being polite and all that with AI. It's true. When I say thanks, Tony, the thing says, Yetunde, you're welcome. And I'm like, okay, you know. So it's just the reality we're facing now. And all women getting together, if we can pull that together, it would be a tremendous help to a lot of people. Thank you. And good job. Thank you for all your very, very insightful comments and tips. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You did not introduce yourself, though.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Yetunde Banjo.
Dr. Pastor Mrs. Yetunde Banjo. Congratulations again. She finished her PhD.
Oh, congratulations. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I was gonna read a few things that was in the chat. Absolutely, women learning together was very helpful. That was Dr. Banjo. And oh, okay, you're saying that AI is female, right? I mean, okay, you don't listen to news either. Very powerful, insightful discussion. I don't know. J.A., do you want to say anything, any comments? I see Miss Valerie join us. Thank you so much for joining us. We had her yesterday. I don't know if you have anything you want to share. And I think I saw Christine Eroku. Please feel free to jump in. Don't break a leg. Jump in and add to the conversation, please, and thank you.
Hi, hello. Good evening, everyone. I
Good
was just
evening.
smiling and listening. I was like, how did I had it in my radar to attend yesterday, but I was traveling, and then I got home, I got tired and I forgot. So I'm glad that there's a recording of that. But today's session was amazing. And I was thinking about, most times I kind of struggle with self-soothing, but today hearing that, it's almost like I have permission. Like I've been given permission to try it. And it's not weird at all to do that. So I just want to say thank you for the session. There are lots of nuggets that were picked from today's session. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Where have you been in 2026? You look so young and beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Hello, good evening. This is Christine, and thank you so much for such an interesting conversation, Bayode and Mrs. Atiba. So I think for me, I've been listening. Although I joined a bit late as well, and I've been listening. But I love what you said about protecting your peace, because as women, we tend to forget that we struggle with the savior mentality sometimes. If you're not the mom, sister, wife, like you want to do it all and no one is taking care of you, and you struggle. And sometimes we don't know how to set boundaries or, take care of ourselves. I'm glad that this conversation is taking place during this month. As a reminder, we know what we do because we advise other people, but unfortunately, we don't know how to draw those lines when it comes to us, and then we suffer in silence and all of that. So thanks for the reminder that we need to set boundaries and protect our peace. Great conversation.
Thank you so much, Christine. And Christine is joining from Halifax. She's also going to be one of our speakers. I hope you're feeling much better, Christine. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
I think I want to throw one more question at you, Bayode, and everybody can chip in. What do you think about women not being able to take compliments?
I think I fall under that category. Somebody says something and you quickly like just push it down. Oh, your hair looks like, oh yeah, but I have a hair appointment tomorrow. My hair's, like, you immediately just bypass the compliment and then wash it down. But I'm learning to be able to, like, part of, what we talked about in terms of like being able to receive help is also receive compliments. Okay, if somebody gives you a compliment, thank you. You don't have to, or your shirt, look, I bought it from Shein, it was just $10. Like, so just, I think that it's, and then it's part of that, humility that we talk about, where we want to be humble. We don't want to be perceived as showy or, arrogant, just, like we hear about men who, like, you look at a job, they look at the job description and they only have like 40% of the requirements, and they're quick to apply for the role. But as a woman, you're like, I only have 60 or 70. No, I need to have 100%. It all comes to all that, where, we downplay, our gifts, we downplay our skills, we downplay our talents, we downplay everything. And that's itself, that translates into compliments. I think that we need to be more receptive. Start small. I'm a big proponent of starting small. If you can't go into it cold turkey, yeah, thank you, if that's all you can say, but accept it and let it sit with you. Don't be so quick to find other flaws in yourself to negate the compliment that you received.
And I like the fact that you talked about finding other flaws. If there's anything we do a lot, not me. If there's anything women do a lot is we find flaws. We're so critical of ourselves.
Yes.
Um, even in our best days, we're looking beautiful, we're looking amazing. Doesn't matter whether you're plus size or negative size, it doesn't matter. Being comfortable in your skin is super, super important. Not downplaying the who that you are and not deflecting. When people say you look beautiful, thank you. Thank you so much. You look beautiful too. Just be able to accept it and take it in. And just, if you can't think of what else to say the same thing back to the person just to make them, feel good. I really feel it's important that we learn to take those compliments and appreciate ourselves. So to every woman here, even though I don't see everybody, but I'm going to use Bayode as an example. She is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous, right? And that is how we all have. Please pay yourself a compliment. Pay another woman a compliment. We don't hear it often. Let's do it as we're doing everything in bit sizes. I said it yesterday. I said you don't eat an elephant at the same time. You take it a piece at a time. So let's learn to accept compliments. Let's learn to give compliments. Let's learn to create boundaries for ourselves. Let's learn to say no. The world is not gonna end if we say no for a few things. Let's know our capacity and live within it. Let's love ourselves.
Yes.
I said it. In the plane, they'll tell you, put on your oxygen mask first before you help somebody else. Let's learn to put on an oxygen mask first before we help somebody else.
You said something about loving ourselves. And I think that is so important to really highlight, because on the surface, we say we love ourselves, but there are things that we do, behaviors that don't show that we love ourselves. Just like we're talking about, being able to say no. If you love yourself and you know that you need rest, then you should be able to say no. You come first. You come first. Remind yourself of that. And another thing I want to say is that if you were to give another person, like your friend or your sister, advice, you would tell them, no, you don't do this. Like the advice that you give to your friend so that they'll take care of themselves, give it to yourself as well. Show yourself love, be your own cheerleader and advocate for yourself, because that's self-love, having that self-concept is really, really important, because the opposite of that is self-abandonment and self-rejection. And that's when you're overextending yourself, you're over-explaining, you're not setting boundaries, it's like you're throwing yourself under the bus, through self-abandonment or self-rejection. So I think that, yes, that self-love is something that we need to really, really embrace and learn to exude more of. Like, if you truly love yourself, if I love myself, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to get rest. I'm going to do what I need to do to take care of myself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's, I just want to add that it's not about being vain.
No.
It's about being authentic, about being intentional. So, I really want to thank you, Bayode. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add before we round it up.
I just wanted to thank you for giving me this opportunity to come here. I am very, very excited, very happy, and I look forward to participating in the rest of the events this week, and also in the future, like Dr. Banjo said, the AI for women event is definitely something that has piqued my interest as well, and I look forward to supporting with that, and participating in that in my capacity. And just want to thank everybody who's taking the time to be here, to show up, to stay through all this. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to getting to know more of you through other CAP events. So thank you, Lady Abba, for extending the invitation to me.
We should be thanking you. You came to give your time, your knowledge, your expertise, your skills, your beauty, your smile. You gave it all. You gave it all. And your authenticity. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And to everybody that joined, we are truly, truly grateful. And for participating, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the love. Please use the emojis. Let's just appreciate ourselves. Thank you all so much for joining. We truly appreciate it. It's so important when we come together and we talk about things that impact us. And I'm sure, seriously, I've been learning. Yesterday was fantastic. Today, amazing. And I know it's going to be like that also because we have, intelligent, smart, elegant, amazing, professional women leaders that are coming to share with us. And I know that we can do International Women's Day 365 days, just so you know, because I know that many women. I mean, I just told you about Dr. Banjo. She's not even on the list, but believe you me, if I put her on the stand now, she's gonna just blow it up. DNA is there. There's so many women. We could maybe next year we could talk about doing International Women's Day 365 days long. Just have a woman talk about something, and maybe it'll be like a podcast. 30 minutes, just talk about something. And of course, we're not going to forget the ChatGPT and the Geminis and the Perplexity and the Copilot and all the likes that we were talking about. We're going to learn that. I think we need to continue to empower ourselves to be the best that we can be. Thank you again, Bayode. It's truly an honor to have you join us. And, on that note, I want to say hasta la vista. Have a fantastic evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Continue again, 7 p.m. tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.